I'm getting some great questions from aspiring mobile makers, and so I thought I would answer one of the latest ones today, and that is how to solve the case of the wiggly jiggly blade. And that's when you've attached the wire using the two-hole method and your blade is just all kinds of wiggly. It's not really a problem, but aesthetically it might not be what you're looking for. If you look more closely at what's going on here, you see there's a gap between the arm and the blade here. On the underside, maybe the arm comes up a bit like it is here, and then the end result really is just that this blade doesn't feel like it's connected well. So there are a few things you can do to eliminate this, and I'm about to show them to you. So to get started, you're going to want to have 3 different pliers on hand. I use these tiny little guys. I use some needle nose pliers. And I also use these offset pliers that have grooves in there, some little teeth. You'll see why in a moment. So let's get started. So whenever I cut a piece of wire to get started with the arm, I always take a file and file down that end so that it's nice and straight. Doesn't do anything in terms of functionally, but aesthetically it's a nice touch to have a really smooth edge there. So we're going to start off just like you would start off doing any two-hole attachment, which is you'll put your wire in the outermost hole, like so. You'll make your first bend here. So it just makes a little bit of an L there. And we're ultimately going to make a U shape. So then we have the U shape. Trying to keep this top part as flat as possible, making these 90-degree angles. Then we'll drop that right into that second hole. And at this point what I'll do is I'll take those same small pliers. I'm going to apply pressure right there to push the arm against the base of the blade. At this point I'm applying a pretty good pressure to make sure that that's pushed down well. I'm going to take the finger of my other hand and as close to the base as I can, I'm going to just pull that arm up. So again, it's down like this. I'm just going to take it and pull it straight up so that it's even with the bottom of the blade. From that point, we'll turn the whole blade over, and this is what you should see. See that little U popping through? I'll take a good squeeze here to reaffirm that connection. And then I'll take the nub that's sticking up and I'm going to move it this direction. I'm going to move it towards the rest of the arm just a little bit. See how I just moved that blade or that arm just a little bit that way? Then I'm going to re-press down in between to reconnect the blade and the arm in terms of how they're situated next to each other. Then I'm going to take that arm and I'm going to bend it even more so that it's almost touching. At this point, that little set of pliers, it doesn't do the reach as well. So I'll take the larger pliers and I'm going to just hold it right on there and I'm going to press that nub so that it sits right across the metal. And you'll want to have the nub that was sticking out align as best you can with the rest of the arm. That keeps the arm from rotating and being off-centered, which can cause the jiggle issues. So at this point, this blade is pretty well secured, but if you hadn't squeezed down well enough, if the holes were too big, then you can take your offset pliers and apply them right on that connection. And again, give it a nice good squeeze, and that just really solidifies how strong that connection is. So as you can see, there's no wiggle. Looks like it's wiggling, but there is no wiggle and no jiggle. You have a really fine connection between the arm and the blade itself. So I hope that helps. We'll do it one more time in real speed so you can see. So So I'll take the blade with the 2 holes. I'll put the wire of the arm through the outermost hole. I'll do my initial bend. I will then make a U-shaped bend, dropping that down into the second hole. I'll give it a nice firm squeeze. I'll get my fingers as close to the blade as I can, pulling that arm back so it's level and even with the blade. I'll flip the blade over. I'll take that little nub and I'll move it back toward the other arm. I'll squeeze again. I'll get my larger pliers, squeeze again, drop that nub down so that it's in line here, nice and tight, nice and tight, nice and tight. If you need it tighter, then you'll just take your offset head pliers, give it a good squeeze, and that really pushes it down. And there you go, no wiggle. All right, hope that helps. Thanks a lot. Enjoy your mobile making.